soft skills, motivation, and management. He served in the Indian Army, the Corps of Electronics and Mechanical Engineer for 31 years. After retirement, he followed his passion of providing training of entrepreneurship development to the youth in the corporate and educational sector. He worked as a management trainer in Bahrain and Dubai. He was associated with the British Library for conducting leadership training workshops. He set up the Management Development Center of Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Public Administration in Chandigarh. He trained around 4,000 government employees, including IAS, IPS, and PCS officials. It's a matter of great pride for all of us that a veteran of such high intellectual caliber has agreed to grace this occasion. Amidst thunderous applause, I invite upon the stage Colonel B.M. Sablok.
I feel really honored and privileged to have been called upon to meet you and interact with you this morning. And credit for that goes to the most dynamic and talented friends of mine, Vidosh and Rashmi. When they called me a day or two back, I was down with fever, still on antibiotics, but I didn't have the heart to say no to her because I see their dynamism every day in newspapers and they keep sending me mails and I get to know about their activities. I said when they are so dynamic, the organization they are representing, it must be equally wonderful. The atmosphere that I see now is totally charged with enthusiasm and love. Therefore, earlier, such audiences, I used to talk in Rotary clubs on subject called happiness. And I last remember, I went to some hotel, Park Hotel or something, where Indo-British Chamber Scholar Association, they invited me to talk on happiness. So firstly, I thought I will talk to you about, I thought it's a retired people's conglomeration, so therefore I will speak on health, happiness and harmony. Then I changed my mind when she wrote to me, they are professionals, both retired and serving. So I made it a hybrid now. So I'll be talking to you a little bit about my experiences in whatever form. Because most of you are working and young, therefore let me share my experiences of life with you. This is about work. Yama will read out to you later what Khalil Gibran said about work. He said it is love. If you cannot love your work, go and sit outside the temple and ask for alms. The basic thing of any work is love. But what happens when we go for work anywhere? We have two things. One, utna hi karo jisse kaam chal jaye. The other fellow says that I'll give out my best. Now the difference between the two is what I call motivation. And the person who does perform well, he keeps rising up. He develops himself and improves more and more. This point has been intriguing me for many years. Because I haven't only served for 28 years plus in the army, plus 12 years I served in civil, and then another 4 or 5 years you can say here and there, wherever people invited me for something or the other. So I have had sufficient experience of handling people. Therefore I thought, let me study this topic on my own. Why some people perform so well? Mediocres are all same. Something which is missing, which doesn't make them give out their best. So my time, what used to happen, we used to create fear in the minds of the people and get work out of them. Agar nahi hua to ye ho jayega. And people used to work. And then, if the fear didn't work, then we will say overtime. We started giving money. Then you will get a stinker from top. If your overtime bill is shooting up like hell, so reduce the overtime bill. So fear is gone, money is gone, no more they work. Is that right? You agree with me?
Yes.
Can we have a little bit of interactive session rather than my being speaking a monologue?
Yes.
Alright. Do you feel fear works anymore in your organizations?
No.
Does the money works?
No.
So what is it that works? We have to reach there. Is that right?
But money works in private or in government department.
Which department it works?
Government.
Government department.
Ah.
That way, I would not comment on that. I would not like to comment because you remind me of when I was conducting a program from Tahsildars of the Punjab government. Then I asked the director there, I said, what is this Tahsildar, what does he do? You know what word he told me? An senior IAS officer. He tells me, Sablok, Tahsildar Chief Minister se bada hota hai. You don't know about it. So when I started taking their classes for about 3-4 days, I asked them first thing to write why they are so negatively viewed by the people. Write your own points. Then during the 3 days I took on one by one, and when the program ended, my director saw that each one of those tahsils were touching my feet and vanishing from the premises. Because it is the attitude. People are same everywhere. It is one thing solid which matters is the attitude. And developing a right attitude or a positive attitude is a matter of training. And leadership has a great role to play in that. Because human beings are human beings. No one is perfect. Systems are systems. No system is perfect. Yet we have to enjoy life, get the best of it out of it. That Tansan can get rains and Suratgarh could get trees and rains. Then what is it that cannot be done by human mind? Human mind has very strong power. Probably you did not realize that Rashmi said in her talk about visualization, about affirmations. These are wonderful techniques. Can you imagine, today I thought, will there be an architect in this audience today? And moment I enter in here, I meet an architect, Hema's husband. Visualization is a very, very big thing, and I have experienced it in my life. And I have had enough experience of dealing with situations, people, both in civil, military and outside the country, and in corporates. Now, when the fear is gone, the money is gone. You remember when we were 7 children in the house. We were living in Ludhiana. My mother used to put milk in the glass and say, 3 minutes for you. Each one of you finish your milk or remember this. And within 3 minutes, everyone used to finish. What happens now? The staminas are so low that you have not more than 1 or 2 children. And what happens, what the mother does today? बेटा ले लो, कैडबरी डाल देती हूँ, बॉर्नविटा डाल देती हूँ, ओवल्टीन डाल देती हूँ. She is pestering the child by various methods. शाम को आइसक्रीम खिला दूंगी, दूध पी लो. Is that right happening or not happening?
Yes, very much.
Earlier we used to fear from the policeman. We don't know more fears from the policeman. Policemen are being beaten by public. Earlier we used to fear from our teachers. They used to beat us. Now there is no fear of teachers. So all this, when I saw the hang-up of society, I thought, let us find a way. What can we do? So from my experience, and maybe you all will agree with me on some, or which you differ, you're welcome to speak about it. I have found out 3 things. Rashmi, time is a big constraint, then you tell me, then I'll cut short.
15
So, who will tell me when I am about to finish? Okay, tell me when I must finish. So, one is sense of identity. Second is sense of importance. Third is sense of development and growth. 3 things. I repeat, sense of identity. Be with me, please. Sense of
identity. Sense of importance.
Importance. And third one is?
Development.
That lady there with specs, I want you to, don't scare me, give me a smile. Alright. Now what is this sense of identity? Many times we take Ram Singh on the side. तो राम सिंह ये काम तू ही कर सकता है, मैं तेरे को बता रहा हूँ, मैं और कोई नहीं कर सकता, ये काम तुम कल सुबह तक करके मुझे दे दो. Ram Singh feels so motivated. He doesn't care about his 8 hours. He works for bloody 12 hours, finish the work, and then just because then one little saying in his ears by the boss. Does that happen or not happen?
Yes.
You know Tisco in Jamshedpur? Have you heard about Tisco?
Yes.
I visited there, sir.
Oh, very wonderful. Tisco is a company which was owned by Tatas, 60,000 employees. Janta regime when it came, he wanted to nationalize this company. And you know who protested the most? The 60,000 employees.
Workers.
Their total share of 60,000 employees in the whole company was just 1%. What was that emotional attachment of these 60,000 people? Another example of Tisco I give you. You go to any company which is a factory, you will see stores lying helter-skelter, pipes leaking, things happening in a dirty manner, nothing in organized. And one chap says, na to yahan koi sunta hai, na koi dekhta hai. Every day, any time you go and inspect any factory, you find all these things happening. Nothing gets organized perfectly. Now, when you ask in Tisco, an example which is quoted in literature, he says, I will ask the general manager. So the general manager also doesn't do anything. So I'll ask the chairman. If he doesn't, I'll ask the owners. That's the level of confidence required by the employees on the top. That they listen to him and act. So listening actively is a very important tool in the hands of all managers. Sometimes listening is a big subject. Sometimes we'll talk about later if the opportunity comes on listening. I told you earlier about attitude, now I'm talking about listening. When I joined the corporate, my boss said we should throw 2 parties. One party of your bosses and your subordinates along with their wives, and second party horizontal. So I was not very happy that I should throw this party on my own expense. The 2 parties. He says, sir, why do you want wives to come? He says, because you have got 6 horizontal officers, 6 wives come, so there will be 6 parties. Anyway, I had no choice but to listen to the boss, but I was new to the civil life. We threw the parties, and I saw the dramatic effect of these parties. You don't have to go through the bureaucratic regime, you simply have to pick up the phone and tell, Ram Singh, yaar ye dekhna, ye kar lena, and the job is done. See, the relationship gets built up through a small system of getting to know people, knowing more rather than being bureaucratic, sending notes on files. Another thing which is happening is, I was traveling once, there was no announcement, and suddenly I hear from someone the flight is delayed. So I went to the reception and I asked them why there is no announcement. These jokers, the bit jokers, these jokers who are announcement people, they don't do their work properly. Do they belong to a different company? No, they belong to Air India. Then when we went to the aircraft, the pilot says the ground staff faulted. So not our fault. No, the same airline, but the concept of we and they exists. Most organizations have this bloody trouble. Therefore the work doesn't get done. So we have to create an identity, either by appreciating people or by identifying them as something who are super, or what I used to do, I commanded a battalion in Leh Ladakh long ago, in 80s. I had 7 workshops spread all over the area. Leh is an area which is very cold, you all know, and we have to repair all the equipment of the army. Now, whenever I used to go to the workshop, I would see a man lying under the vehicle, repairing with the gloves in his hand. You cannot touch metal without gloves because your hand will burn with cold. I will go down as a commanding officer, sit with him, talk to him, and then When I saw this man is so dedicated to his work, I would come back and issue an appreciation letter. And next step would be get him to the Darbar and then tell people what this man was doing, and I have caught him doing that good work.
Then somebody.
Why it is important? Human being wants appreciation. Appreciation makes the word go. But we are tuned to criticize. We are tuned to passing judgments. We simply have to love people you command. And this love word I only understood in the army. A man got saved who was driving an army truck. His truck went down the hill. Moment I came to know he was my man, I went to see him in the hospital. He was a sick gentleman. I said, Jasbir, कैसा है? रोने लगा. कहता सर गाड़ी नहीं बचा सका. मैं कहा तेरे ऊपर मैं 60 गाड़ियां मार दूं. तू बच गया, मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ी बात है. You have to identify the goodness in people. Goodness has a very, very subtle method of identifying people. And it doesn't get to be difficult to find the goodness in people. So give people an identity. They will produce results for you. That's one of the great methods of. I have 5 minutes more? 5 minutes enough? Chalo, the second one I will speak to you about the sense of. Yes, another one I must tell you. Who is the one who keeps working like a bonded labor in the house? The lady who smiles now, with respect. Who is in your house who is living like a bonded labor? Anybody?
Everyone.
So who gets up the early morning in the house?
Lady wife.
Who gets the milk? Who gets the newspaper? Who prepares the breakfast? Who prepares the packed lunch? Who prepares the dinner?
Beard.
Or whatever. And then on what happens on a Sunday or a holiday? You tell her today is an extra dish. She has no holiday, she doesn't get paid, she works. Let's applaud the housewife. Let's all applaud for her. You say I am bringing 6 guests in the evening. इसे टाइम पे आ जाना, सबको खाना मिल जाएगा, आप आ जाना. कभी घर में चीनी कम हुई है, कभी घर में दूध कम हुआ है, या कोई दाल कम हुई है, कोई चीज कम हुई है घर में. Can't you see a perfect example of inventory management by a lady? When I was production manager of a base workshop, from a one small washer of 10 rupees, 10 lathe machines are non-operative. When I asked the inventory fellow, material manager, why are you not able to get 10 rupee washer for these lathes? And he gives me 20 reasons. I said, you better go and sit at home, send me your wife here. She will handle me those things. Now this love, or whatever, that lady who was brought up for 20 years somewhere else, then one fine morning some panditji or some bhai or school or some fellow throws some rice on her, recites some mantras and bring her to another house. And then you say, this is your house, new house. It doesn't take her more than 20 days or 30 days to get used to this, and she starts making everybody in that house keep the house clean, no dirty towels, keep your shoes in place, keep your clothes in place. Just about 20-30 days, the house gets into order just because of that single lady. You all agree with me or not?
Yeah.
But that time is gone now. Now the time is changing. I have also a daughter, but I have trained my daughter very well. I trained my son very well. No dowry, no bullshit. You have to work with your own.
Absolutely.
That time is gone.
Absolutely.
And we should forget that.
But sir,
We should change also.
But this other example I gave, one General IP Singh is there, who was our chief guest in marathon. His son was working in Mumbai and he was just totally disorganized. He used to spend like anything.
Get me some water.
He was married to a lady. Lady went to Mumbai. She sorted out everything, and in-laws are so happy, and expenditure has gone down, and everything management that lady has done. We have seen this. That's been
But all five fingers are not equal, let me tell you. I'm telling you, I got married in 90. 30 years, 40 years back. The same thing, I didn't go for a dowry. I want my partner should be educated enough. So she should understand that thing. And we are doing the same thing. I get up early in the morning, I can make tea, I can make breakfast, but there's no borderline is there. This is the job of my wife.
Let us all applaud for this singular husband who is able to manage many things. But most of the places is the lady wife of the house which is at the helm of affairs to take care of the house.
Yes.
And that is universal now, not only here. Because she also goes and works. She cooks her small lunch piece. When she comes back from work, again she is on to work. She is worried whether my children have eaten their pack or whether their homework will be there. She will come and check their bastas. Teacher ने क्या comment लिखा है? Help them to homework and get into some pressing some clothes or polishing some shoes. Each and every aspect of the household is looked after by a lady. That is love and sense of belongingness. If we are able to create that sense of belongingness in the people that who work with us, the motivation is automatic.
Yes.
Third thing is the sense of importance. Boss मिल गया, नया अफसर आया. Boss tells them, you are young and you are energetic, continue to work. Where you get stuck up, come to me. Second type of boss comes and he says, तुमने ये काम पहले कभी नहीं किया ना, so show everything to me first. Third one says, look, you haven't done anything like this, so I will give this to anybody else. So you are straightway demotivated to do the work. And that's the time when a person gets all the types of leaves. Privilege leave, sick leave, casual leave, it applies for all type of leaves. Is that right? One time I asked a clerk, he says, why do you want to go to sick? Sir, this time I did not enjoy my sick leave. I never knew people enjoyed their sick leave also. Such type of boss is the sick leave. Moment a person gets to know that he is developing here, he is learning here, his growth is here, he will never leave the company. Otherwise he will quit. So the motivation comes by ensuring that the people who work for you, they are developed, they are growth, they are made leaders. I think I will end up now because the time must be constrained.
Yes.
Otherwise I am a non-stop speaker on these matters.
We really feel like listening to, we feel that you should go on and on, but
But
time is
I'll give you a couple of minutes. If you have any questions, I'll try and see if I can answer. But I am one like you. I am no expert on any matter. Anybody, any question?
We are full of answers, no questions.
Thank you. God bless you.